Hello everyone, my name is V from the Lavender Lab, and welcome back to another video where today we are back on the Genesys hype train looking at an alt format of Genesys that's currently not been run in any tournaments yet, but is expected to be run at some point in the future, and that is 0-point format. Now, if you don't know how Genesys format works, I highly recommend checking out the Genesys server in the Format Friends list of servers in the description below. But other than that, basically it runs off of a point system. If you ever heard of Trinity format, it's like that, but certain cards cost points, and you have a point limit to your entire deck. Now, 0-point format is where that limit is 0. You cannot play any cards that have point values associated with them. And that's where we get to the list today. So, as some of you might know, I am an avid Super Quant player, and Super Quants are a surprisingly strong deck when you give them a little bit of leeway. And here, in 0-point format, we do not have to worry about Nibiru the Primal Being or Drolan Lockbird, which is just enough leeway to storm forward with the Power Rangers. As you can see on field, Super Quant is completely free, and it is a great deck in regular Genesys. If you haven't seen that profile, go check it out. We're in 0-point format, and it's almost exactly the same. We have to sub out our own hand traps, which is fine, but we still go with the mentality of playing some good hand traps in the main deck because we can spare the space. Emergency Teleport, sadly, is a card that costs 40 points per copy. So we have Emergency Teleport at home in the form of Minimalian. This card's great, but we will get to it in just a moment. The idea here, though, is we could make Magnus, and having a Drolan Lockbird on a fat 3600 leg is huge in a format that doesn't even allow Drolan Lockbird. And so hopefully we can take that to some victories, and here we're about to get into the profile. So, my personal way of building this was going very bulky with ratios because we want to push to getting Quant very quickly. So here we have 3 Super Quantum White Layer, 3 Super Quantum Black Layer, 2 Super Quantum Red Layer because this card's not as necessary to make Nibiru protection without Nibiru, and then we have 1 Super Quantum Green Layer, 2 Super Quantum Blue Layer, and 3 Super Quantum Fairy Alphan and Zaytan. We also have 1 Spike, 3 Layer 19, and 1 Magna Carrier at the bottom. That's the core of the deck, and hopefully we can draw into our most powerful starters, that being Alphan and Blue. We're playing very bulky on the other cards because if we do end up getting hit with some negation of some kind, which is very plausible with cards like Skullmeister and DD Crow, we can have backup plans with cards in our hand by just pitching them, summoning a black layer, or maybe sending something for a white layer if it gets negated, and hopefully we can push through whatever negation we get hit by to still make Magnus. Now, from there, we also have a couple of side engine cards, and this is a 5-card package of Radiant Typhoon. We have 1 Radiant Typhoon Chant, 1 Radiant Typhoon Swen, and 3 Radiant Typhoon Eldan. Basically, these cards are a 5 package here that makes rank 3s. Each of these cards is a starter to 2 rank 3 monsters, which is important for a couple of reasons. 1, it's just a lot of bodies, and we can take great advantage of that with cards like Blue Layer and Alphan that can either get us to more level 3 bodies or can get us to level modulation to make a lot of high level Xyz monsters. But it also allows us to very, very easily make a full armored Xyz line, which if you've never read the full armored Xyz card, that's also in the other Super Quant profile, I recommend checking it out. But the Xyz armor line is basically a way to a very big monster with an equip to steal and a giant body on top of it if you can get the line going. Plays 1 main deck brick, but other than that, it's a great engine. You need 2 level 3s to get into Xyz Armor Torpedo, then from there you overlay for Xyz Armor Fortress once you detach the materials. You detach the Xyz Armor Torpedo from the Fortress to search full armored Xyz. If you can get this card into your graveyard, you can then use its graveyard effect to equip an Xyz monster to a monster on the field, an Xyz monster on the field anyway, which is Full Armored Dark Knight Lancer, and where when anything becomes equipped, Full Armored Dark Knight Lancer can then steal an opponent's monster and attach it as material, non-targeting, which is great, and especially because that equip being Xyz Armor Torpedo boosts the attack of Full Armored Dark Knight Lancer up near 6,000, which is great for OTKing. Another line we can use for OTKing is spitting out all of these level 3 bodies to make a Shuriken, which is a monster that people don't often consider, but it can help to stop hand traps as well. When another monster's effect is activated, you can detach material from this card, negate the activation. If you do destroy that card, it's a quick effect as well, so you can actually make this going turn 1 and have a monster negate. It also can attack a number of times each material up to the number of materials attached to it. It takes 3 at minimum, and it can spiral out of control very quickly if you have the space for it, especially because it gains 200 attack each time it battles. This is just another option though, we don't always have to consider it, but that's another reason to throw in the Radiant Typhoons. We're also playing number 3 Cicada King as an alternative negate with just 2 level 3 materials, where you're not using it to summon any insects, but we can use it to negate a monster and then make this card go up to 3000 defense, or just change its battle position if it's an attack position for whatever reason. In the extra deck as well for our Super Quants, as I should have started with, we have Super Quantal Mech Beast Grampulse, Ouroboros, Double Magnaliger, Lusterex, and Magnus. Now, we are playing Double Magnaliger because Lair 19, if we draw multiple copies of it, can be used to summon black from the deck and summon an extra Magnaliger from the extra deck with black's effect on our opponent's turn, which is a very nice engine to work with here. In the main deck as well, we have Minimalian, which is our emergency teleport at home. You can banish a card from your hand, special summon this card from your hand, and then you can banish a level 4 or lower monster you control and special summon a monster from your deck with the same original type and attribute, but 1 or 2 levels lower than its original level. Minimalian is a level 4 water psychic type, which means that it can banish itself to summon Super Quantum Blue Lair from the deck. It also can just serve as an extra level 4 body or a body in general because these effects are not tied together. From there, the last cards in our extra deck are just a couple of generic tools that I have found some enjoyment in playing. We have things, I already mentioned the rank 3s, but we have Karen Gorgon Anti-Luminescent Knight. If you look in the other profile, you will see Exosister Asophiel. That is a very nice option as well. This is honestly probably the 15th card. If you are looking for a card to cut, or if you're looking for a different rank 4, that's perfectly okay. But this card is very good at avoiding targeting negation or targeting effects in a very funny way by allowing you to redirect them. Gaia Dragon the Thunder Charger, I'm skipping over another card there, 2 level 7 monsters, but you can also rank it up on top of a rank 5 or 6 Xyz monster you control as material. It does piercing and can help you get to lethal numbers. Oftentimes when I'm playing in Genesys format, I'm really just trying to push for a quick kill because my opponent I can drop very quickly and not be able to recover. We have number 11 Big Eye, which is 2 level 7 monsters, and can detach a material to target and take control of an opponent's monster. That monster that we stole can attack, but Big Eye cannot. And that's where this last card, Gaia Stream the Graceful Force, comes in. So, Super Quant Xyz monsters all have an effect where they cannot attack unless they have material, which is fine, but occasionally you run into situations where you really just need another attacking body, or if you need to exchange attributes on your field for Lair 19 to be able to summon something different, you can overlay a Super Quantal Mech Beast Magnaliger or a number 11 Big Eye Gaia Dragon or Lusterex for Gaia Stream the Graceful Force. This card is a fairly new card and is also very bad. It has so many restrictions, but you can use a rank 5 or 7 Xyz monster you control as material. It can't be used as Xyz material the turn it was summoned, can't attack directly, and gains attack equal to the combined levels ranks of its attached materials times 200. At the end of the damage step, if it battled, you detach a material. Not good, however, what we can use it for is a very easy way to push for a little bit more damage or to just kill an extra body where we otherwise couldn't. A Big Eye can steal a monster and then overlay the Gaia Stream, putting a rank 7 and a level 7 under it and giving this thing 2800 attack, which isn't bad. Alternatively, the worst case scenario you have is just overlaying a 0 material Magnaliger, which still gives it 1000 attack, which can be useful for drilling through just, minor monsters left on the field to prevent lethal. Finally, in the side deck, we have a couple of nice cards. We have Humongous the Sticky String Kaiju and Kurikara Div Incarnate for going second if our opponent puts up anything really strong, including a Magnus, which is very possible from another Super Quant player. We have Spellbound, then, which is a way to go first and basically stop our opponent from playing the game if we time it right. Twin Twister can be used in either place to discard a card and pop 2 spell traps. That also allows us to discard our very bulky ratios of 3 white layer and 3 black layer, which can be used to search our spells or Alphan to get into starters. And we have Enemy Controller. Target face-up monster your opponent controls, change its battle position, or tribute a monster, target face-up monster your opponent controls, and take control of it. So this is a way to keep our bodies going and prevent targeting negation. We can chain this to something that's trying to negate our monsters, like our blue layer or something, steal their monster while also preventing the targeting negate from working properly. It's a great way to use this as a defensive card as well as a very offensive card if we need to go for OTKs. We can attack with a monster, activate this, tribute and steal a monster, and there we have extra attacks. The biggest place overall where this deck shines is if your opponent stumbles. If your opponent cannot put up a terribly strong board, you can jump in and get a quick kill. We're going to be taking a look at a test hand right about now, just to see what a random hand could look like. Now, you can see we have our starters, we have extenders, we have other extenders, and we even have a hand trap to boot. And now very easily here, we can go for blue combos. We can even bait out a couple of these hand traps if we need to, and it's a very nice time. If I roll through another one right here and move slightly to the side, you'll see we have more extension and a hand trap as well. And it's very easy to see how strong this deck can get. With that being said, I want to thank y'all very much for watching, and hopefully in the future I can start pulling together a couple of extra games for each video. But until then, I will see y'all in the next video.